Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Laura Mackey, and I'm the Director of Field Education here at the Department of Social Work at Springfield College. I am recording this video to review the information for you regarding your field assignments, whether you're in Field Practicum 1 or Field Practicum 2. I'm going to show you where all the information you could possibly need is on Brightspace and explain the assignments a little more in depth for you. So your faculty advisor is going to be your internship advisor. So if you are doing your first year field practicum placement in the fall semester, it's called Field Practicum 1 first half. There are a lot of similarities between Field Practicum 1 first half and Field Practicum 2 first half in terms of the structure of the assignments. So I'm going to show you the Field Practicum 1 first half as an example. And the structure for the assignments and all of the content that you'll find for Field Practicum 2 is going to look exactly the same. So you should be able to find this information in your faculty advisor's course section for either Field Practicum 1 first half or Field Practicum 2 first half. So all the information you could need is found in the content section. So if you click on content, just as I'm doing here, on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll be able to see table of contents, start here, resources, and assignments. All the information you could need is either in start here, resources, or assignments. And just so you have this information, within the start here section is the overview. So here you'll find a brief synopsis of the purpose of field education and a practicum overview. If you're in the first year practicum, it'll have first year information. If you're in the second year one, it'll have second year information there. That can be good information if you're planning ahead for year 2 to share with prospective internship sites if they're asking about program requirements. The resources section has the Field Practicum workbook, which contains all of the assignments just compiled together. So if you want to be able to see everything you need for your internship, it's all there. If you need access to a printed copy, come say hi to me when you're in the building in the Brennan Center and I can get you one. You can also ask our administrative associate, Ms. Jacqueline LaHoulier, or send either of us an email if you're remote and you need us to send a copy to you by mail. But you can click on it here and download and print yourself as well. I also have the first year field assignment checklist. That's something that's also within the workbook, but it's just a very quick summary of the different components of what you need to do for your internship. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when I go into the assignments. I also recommend checking out the field manual because it contains a lot more information about various policies related to your internships at Springfield College. So the assignment section is going to have the bulk of the information that you're going to need. The way I think about the requirements in field are in 3 parts, which covers the full scope of the practice of social work. So in social work, we talk a lot about micro, meso, and macro interventions. So when you're in your field practicum, you'll be doing some type of direct service. That's the micro component. That'll be either doing case management or counseling or advocacy, basically interacting directly with the population that the agency you're at serves, usually having some type of caseload. The meso component is a group requirement. So for some of you, that'll be a traditional group therapy experience where you're either facilitating or co-facilitating a group. Some students are at agencies where they don't provide those kinds of services. And in that case, if you're able to be involved in committee work or interdisciplinary team meetings, that can satisfy the requirement as well. And the final component, whether you're a first year student or a second year student, is a project. That's thinking about the macro scale of things. I like to think of it as a larger scale resource or intervention that can help, like I said, on a larger scale. So if you're in a first year placement, it'll be focused on community. And if you're in a second year practicum, it'll be focused on administrative or the organizational level of processes and functions. So the assignments that you do, I also think of as falling into 3 categories. The first one being the learning contract, the second one being process recordings, and the third being the project that I already referenced. So first you can see here in the assignments is the learning contract. So for each assignment, if you click on the assignment, you'll see a little bit of a description with the due date. About the due dates, I would say if it's done ahead of time and you have all the signatures you need, go ahead and upload it before the end of the semester. The end of the semester is the final date by which your faculty advisor needs most of the assignments in order to give you the passing grade for the first half of the field practicum. But like I said, if you have it done early, you can get it off your mind, go ahead and upload it at the time that it's done. So going back to the assignments section, there you click on the assignment and it gives you a little bit of a description and the due date. And then right below it is the document itself that you can use. This can also be found within the field practicum workbook. And just to make it extra accessible, we have all this information available on the website as well, under the section where you click on resources for current students. So here we have the template for the first year learning contract. This is going to be the first assignment that you'll do when you start at your placement. You'll want to complete this within the first 3 weeks or month at site, and you must have it signed by your field supervisor by October 15th. When you do your site visit with your academic advisor, your faculty advisor, who will be advising your internship, you'll be sharing this information with them as well. You need to get a signature on this document from them also, and that the copy you have with your field supervisor signature and the faculty advisor signature is what should be uploaded by the end of the term. So the foundation year learning contract is for the first year. There's a lot of information in there you can read more closely yourself, but basically it spells out how you're meeting the 3 different components of the internship itself, one being the direct service component, the second being group work, and the third being the community project. There's also the opportunity to brainstorm about the community project. Usually students do the project itself in the second semester after they've had more time to get familiar with the agency, the organization, the population that you serve. But it's great to start the conversation on the earlier side about what different possibilities there might be. In the spring semester, you'll also submit a summary that looks exactly like the brainstorming page, but it's detailing just what you did for the assignment. And then there's additional information within the learning contract, including information that can help you prepare for the site visit with your faculty advisor. So if you look through it, there's various sections that will require you to fill in information. So if you download the form, and I'm hoping it's going to show you on the screen share here. It's a fillable PDF. So if you like this format, you can type right into it. So example, 8 a.m. Oh, that's not time. So learning contract begin September 1st, 2021 to May 1st, 22. And these dates are going to be different for every student. You can print out this form and handwrite it if that's what works best for you. But if that's the case, you'll have to scan it and upload it back into Brightspace. If you don't have a scanner, I really recommend the program Adobe Scan. It's a free app you can download for your smartphone. And basically you just take a picture of the document and it'll convert it into a PDF for you, and you can upload the information from there. If you're typing directly into the fillable PDF, one piece of advice I have is make sure that you save it, and you save it with any changes you've made so it doesn't revert back to the blank copy. I want to save you any frustration there because you don't want to lose all the work you've done. So make sure you save it with any changes that you've done. So I'm going to go back to the assignments. The second assignment, as I think of it, is the process recordings. You need to do 12 process recordings per semester. These are primarily an activity that you'll review with your field supervisor and your individual supervision sessions. but each semester you have to submit 2 of them to your faculty advisor. You have an option between 3 different formats, and these are based off of the micro, meso, and macro work as well. So one is based on individual, family, or co-counseling work. One is based on group therapy, and one is based on administrative or community meetings. So I will show you an example here. I encourage you to try the different formats because it gives you an opportunity to reflect more deeply, not only on the processes of the work, but your experience and your use of self as well. So in the individual, family, or co-counseling format, there's 3 columns. From your recollection, a synopsis of the conversation that happened. It doesn't have to be the whole session, but you can choose a particular portion that you think represents something important about the work that happened. The second column reflects your thinking. So maybe your intention to try to use a particular intervention, your noticing of particular reactions and understanding it in the context of certain theories. So this is the more intellectual response to the process. And the third column is about feelings. So this is an opportunity for you to dig deeper and be recognizing any reactions you're having, maybe challenge yourself for any biases you might have. And it's an opportunity to practice vulnerability too. Acknowledge where you might be struggling, or where you may need some additional learning. I always recommend feel free to write questions in here for your supervisor as well, because this really can further support your individual supervision sessions where it's a time just for you to be working on your development as a professional social worker. So the second type of process recording is the group format. That's right there. And it has, questions that are more specific to the group process. We finally have a version that's for community or administrative meetings as well. So because you have to submit 2 process recordings per semester, I've called the assignments process recording 1 and process recording 2. So underneath both of them, you have the templates for each of the options that you can use. You also need to be filling out timesheets to track how your time is being used at site. At minimum, you need to get them signed by your field supervisor once a month, but I would recommend, if it's helpful for you, you could do that once a week as well. I'll show you what they look like here. Again, this might be something that you want to print out and handwrite and then scan and upload. So you can write the month, the year, there's a slot for dates, times, and hours. You don't have to designate specifically within here whether the time was spent on groups or direct practice or administrative projects, because that's something you're going to be talking about more directly with your field supervisor, and they're going to be responsible for making sure that the time is being spent in these various areas. You can count an hour, up to an hour a week that's spent on your process recordings on the timesheets. Additionally, you can count the time spent in supervision in your hours for the week as well. It's okay to use a different template for process recordings or different formats. Some sites or agencies, or if you're doing employment-based, may already have a system that they use. I just want to make sure it's a secure system where you get signatures that are not just typed, because you don't want there to be any possible question of forgery or anything like that. You want to make sure it's a secure system, that your hours are accounted for and signed off accordingly. And then the last project is the community project or the administrative project. The worksheet's not in there for the first half because it's not due until the second half. I mentioned the field visit, the site visit, that's going to happen about halfway through the fall semester, and another point partway through the spring term. Your faculty advisor will be reaching out to you about scheduling that. The other thing that happens involving your field supervisor is a midpoint evaluation as well as a final evaluation. Your supervisor will get the information about how to fill out the evaluation by email about 3 weeks before the end of the semester. We have specific dates that went out in the calendar for the year of when that's going to happen. So all of that information can be done online by your field supervisor. You'll receive that information by email when it's complete. So you should download it and then upload it here into Brightspace, because we want to have all of the documents available together, easily accessible both for you and your faculty advisor. So if you remember in the resources section, I had this checklist. I think this is a really easy resource just to see, as a reminder, what you need to be doing in your internship. So for the first half, if you're a first year student, the learning contract, which we discussed, the site visit, 2 process recordings of the 12 need to be submitted to Brightspace, timesheets with signatures. So if you're a first year student, you need to do a minimum of 300 hours this academic year, about 150 hours each term. If you're an advanced standing student, you need to do 425 hours minimum. And if you're in your final year placement, you'll be doing 465 hours. So then the last thing you need in the first half of the fall semester is the evaluation. And that covers the different components of your internship. So I hope this gives you more information to reference in addition to the field orientations that are happening on September 8th, September 11th, and September 12th. I've really enjoyed getting to meet some of you so far this year. It has been awesome to work with you to get your internship set up. I'm really excited for you as the year is getting up and started. Please feel free to reach out to myself and Shiona Douglas, who is our Assistant Director of Field Education, anytime. Jacqueline LaHoulier is also our Administrative Assistant, so you can reach out to her as well with any additional questions. Your faculty advisor should be your first point of contact regarding any issues or concerns in your field placement, but please consider us a resource that's available to you as well. We want to make sure that this is an enriching part of your academic experience, and that we can support you in any way that we can. So thanks for your time. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you more in person soon. Take care.